Hey guys, good evening. We have Varun and Anu joining in today, a DO couple who is going live today evening to make it memorable. So, Varun has been a leader and CEO. I'm really not sure how he has three kids. How did he get time to get on three kids? But yeah, lovely chemistry between both of them. Now out of the CEO position, Varun is now cheerleading, and he's got his own YouTube channel. Apart from that, he runs this particular group which is like pretty good. It's called the Recipe Exchange, where you can exchange recipes and make wonders, and share the idea, so that this is, you're encouraging others, and get them tuned into your recipes. He was in the automobile industries, and he's been leading as a leader, and managing a lot of teams. He's got a lot of achievements, awards, which, let's not talk about that. And yeah, the baking queen Anu is here. So I know very little about Anu, but maybe Varun can talk more about. Okay, this is tricky. Okay, Varun, you will only talk about Anu, and Anu, you will only talk about Varun. So that you've got like
Awesome.
5 minutes each for both of you. Let's make this happen.
Perfect. So, first of all, Ravi, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. And my name is Varun Rao, as you mentioned earlier. My wife Anu.
Hi,
So,
everyone.
so I'm going to be talking about her. So let's start with her. And Anu has been, sort of the foundation of our family. And you asked how we had three kids. Well, we did, and the part of how we had them is slightly censored, so we'll skip that part for this particular purpose, since we have a very varied audience. But she takes care of the three kids. Not only three kids, we recently we have a dog. We have a female golden retriever,
Oh,
and she had a litter of eight pups. So for the last 2 months, in
oh my
addition to
God.
taking care of three kids and the fourth kid myself, she's also been taking care of eight pups. Okay, so I mean, Superwoman over here. I actually, a lot of my friends call me Superman because I like the character and they relate me to it. But this is the real Superwoman of the family. So she has been, oh boy, I think cooking for many years.
Mhm.
There are a few favorite dishes. She's from Kashmir, so
Oh,
a
wow.
father is Kashmiri, a mother is from Lucknow.
Mhm.
So already you have a nice food culture. Lucknow is known for tehzeeb and food. Myself, I'm half Maharashtrian, half Sindhi. My father's side lives actually in your city in Hyderabad. And my mother, being Sindhi, of course, had to move from Pakistan to various places. So between the two of us, we have a nice all India food culture. But she started cooking. She started cooking early on in life, I'm sure. And I don't know much before we got married. But after we got married, she's been cooking. We've had cooks, but she also guides them. In addition to that, her passion really in the cooking area is baking.
Mhm.
So what she does is makes all the baked goods, and I look at it and say, okay, what can I make that goes with these baked goods? So a good example would be like a burger. So she will make a sesame bun, which she makes the
Mhm.
best sesame buns. We've actually, for your information, stopped buying bread,
Oh.
croissants, any sorts of buns from
Hmm.
the market for a long time now because we've got the expert in house. So why bother going outside, right? So she'll make the sesame buns, and I will make the meat patty or vegetable patty and all the sides that go with it. So it's a nice sort of group effort between the two of us. I'm going to talk about her more. So she's been a fashion designer in the past. That's actually her career. That's also how we met in the US. She had come in for some client meetings, and I was living in the US back then. And as I say, we met, love at first sight, rest is history. So,
But you were
and what,
supposed to do a client meeting, right? So.
yeah, I mean, that became a second nature. I have sort of charms, that I can. I talked her into skipping the client meeting and having a meeting with me instead. It was more fun that way. So yeah, so that's we got married. It's been actually July 4th. This Sunday will be 16 years.
Wow,
And
congratulations.
you want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you one. When we were living in the US back then when we got married, I said, honey, no matter what, on our anniversary, we'll always have fireworks, right? Because the 4th of July in the US. And literally
A
4 months,
year.
no, 4 months after that, we made the decision to move to India. So the whole fireworks thing went went for a toss.
Well, we still have fireworks.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
kinds
Different
of
types.
fireworks. So but that's her super mom, super wife, and the other passion she will maybe not tell you, but looking at her, you can tell she's an exercise freak. I
Oh.
think I'm sure you've heard of Cult Fitness. They probably run solely because of her. She's like the biggest proponent, biggest customer, biggest all of that. So now that they're shut because of COVID, she's doing the online cult
Okay.
classes. That's how she stays fit. And for me to stay fit, I'm always on a seafood diet. I just
Hmm.
seafood and I eat it.
Oh.
So, so that's it. What else can I say about her? You wanna? So your turn.
Yeah, yeah, your turn now. Because Anu, all you've been doing, I mean, we can imagine the chemistry between both of you because anything he talks, whether it's not even a joke, you are just blushing and laughing about what.
Yes,
So,
yes. That is true. From the time that we met, this is going back 17 years. Varun has been cooking all these amazing dishes and he's been charming me. That's how I got roped in. And to tell you the truth, uh, I don't think a day went by when I thought, what are we going to eat? Because
hmm,
he was always, making something or the other interesting. I remember so many times when I was pregnant and we were in the US, I would have cravings in the middle of the night.
and
And
he's the
it
one.
wasn't something that I wanted from a store or from a restaurant. He had to make it. There was this really, really nice time that I wanted a hamburger.
Hmm.
And this was in the middle of the night. It was snowing outside, but Varun went on,
Just to
just swished on the grill, came back, and then made the entire patty from scratch, made the burger in the middle of the night. And that was the best one that I ever had.
just to give some context, it was minus 18 degrees because this is in Michigan. We lived in
Okay.
Michigan at the time in the US. So minus 18,
Yeah.
and the time was 1 a.m. So it wasn't like
Hmm.
afternoon or something.
In the middle of the night. And it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. I even when I was pregnant and I was, taking care of our little one, he would be feeding me. There were times that I would be holding the baby and he would be feeding me from the same plate. He's pampered me like no one.
Teamwork, teamwork.
And I love his food. Uh, I just love eating. So I have to exercise a lot harder in order to
Burn
maintain
whatever
because I
you're
can't
eating.
stop eating. It's just great food.
Good one. Good, good. So I think you're changing the definition here, Varun. There is a saying, right? The way to man's heart is like through his stomach. I mean, is that the
Yes,
quote? I think you're changing that gender here.
absolutely. I totally agree. He has converted that. The way to my heart was surely through my stomach.
See,
I got one.
yeah, my love affair with food has been. I mean, I won't tell you how long ago because then you know how old I am, but it's been very long. All I tell you is that I'll give you one small story. So I was in college, and I remember this is a Sindhi dish called Sai Bhaji. My mom is Sindhi, and I you know, that's sort of soul food for me because I grew up eating that. So
Hmm.
I'm on a phone call, and keep in mind this is the early '90s when one phone call to the US was $2 a minute, so wildly
Right.
expensive. And I spent an entire hour on the phone trying to make this dish with step-by-step guidance. And at the end of it, I'd spent $120 and it went down the drain. So that's the day I promised myself that, you know what, not only I will learn to cook, but I will become the best cook that I can. And like they say, the rest is history. And here we are today.
But then you also said that you want your kids to know all these
Oh, absolutely.
amazing
Yeah.
foods, and that's how he decided to start the recipe exchange and the YouTube channel because he was like,
Well,
I want to record all of these
Hmm.
recipes so that our kids can make it later.
yeah.
Our oldest one is going to be in college in a couple
Very
years,
soon.
and
So he'll be
So
branching out
yeah,
pretty
so
soon.
slightly different reasons. A YouTube channel. Now actually we have about 400 or 500 subscribers, and for those who are watching, please do subscribe. Varun Vijay Rao, just look it up. But I started it really as a recipe memoir for my kids, especially my oldest daughter, who will be off, like Anu said, to college in 2 years. And
Hmm.
I didn't want her to go through what I went through. I don't want her to spend time on a phone call, holding a phone like this and trying to stir. So now she has videos that are online, and that's the reason we started it. We had the time during the lockdown, worked out great. The recipe exchange was, a few of my buddies just on a phone call. They keep calling me and saying, "Hey, WhatsApp me this recipe, WhatsApp me that recipe," and it just became cumbersome trying to copy and paste or even typing it again. So I said, you know what? What if we just start a group, put the recipes there, and then everybody has
Everybody
access
can
to
watch.
it. So the idea again was just close friends would be there, but we have I think 2,200 members now and over 2,000 recipes in just 2 months. So that's grown
Superb.
a lot more than we thought it would, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, so it also increases the excitement. So you're anyway cooking, okay? You're anyway baking, and making these recipes. All you're doing is adding, you're recording it, and since you're doing it for a larger audience, obviously that excitement and the way you're doing it also builds up. So the entire experience of cooking changes. So one quick question, how did you get this particular name of chefpreneur? How did you get this idea of chefpreneur? Were you the first
Okay, for
ones
that,
to try this, or it was like I've copied a couple of brands, so
yeah. No, so okay, so I was like you said, I was a CEO for a US company for many years in India and 20 years in the US before that. And about a year and a half ago, I decided to quit and become an entrepreneur. So I started my own automotive manufacturing unit along with a partner. Two of us own it together, and so I became an entrepreneur, right? But on the side, I'm also a chef. Anu and I participated in the CEO Master Chef competition, which we won 3 years ago. 3 years ago. So it was, so cooking is a passion. So being a chef is a passion. Entrepreneur is what I do now. So just we kind of put those two together and became the chefpreneur.
wow, good one, good one. Because I've recently heard about mompreneurs, and now you have chefpreneurs. So, and there are a lot of people who are getting into YouTube channel for cooking. So awesome channel. The quality of your content is really good. I've gone through a couple of videos, and I would love to go through more of them as we go by. So what were the interesting stories? I mean, what was the best YouTube video that you created? Need not be the number of
Ah,
views, people there, but what was the most hilarious or best moment video you created?
Enjoyable one.
so, okay, I would say two. One is chocolate chip cookies by my 15-year-old. You have to watch that. We actually included behind the scenes footage because it was just so hilarious. So that was and that for me was fantastic because I actually watched that afterwards. It was a surprise for me. So I
Okay.
didn't see the shoot. So
I
I saw
did.
it first time like any other viewer. So I love that. And the second one, and I'm going to say this because she won't say it, but the best video that we have, no matter how you judge it in terms of response from people or viewership or minutes watched, whatever metric you look at, is
Mhm.
this lady right here with mozzarella cheese. Unbeatable video. I mean, you think about it, when you think about, like, I make a lot of exotic, dishes that you serve in Michelin star, five-star restaurants, but I also
Mhm.
do like soul food, like Andhra pepper chicken, for example. That's a video that's not released yet, but we've already made the video. It'll be out soon. But those are videos. I mean, I think people will look at those videos and say, "Wow, that's a complex dish." But
Right.
everyone wants to know how to make bread at home, how to make mozzarella at home. So people relate, I think, to her content more than they do to mine. Though I started the channel, so now it's really our channel more so her channel than mine, I'd say.
Oh, no. Uh, the only reason I wanted everyone to see how to make it is because while we were in the lockdown, it was so difficult to get all of these things. Kids would want pizza, and there was no way we could order in from anywhere. Of course, I used to make pizza earlier. It was, the base was easy to make. I'd figured out everything else. But how do you get the toppings? If you don't get
Mm.
the toppings, then it's just
It's like,
tomato sauce on a pizza base. But then because our kids love just plain cheese pizza, I decided to make the cheeses. And I realized it's so easy to make it. And the quality is amazing. Why not share that with everyone else? Let them also
yeah.
make it at home. Um, of course, save a few pennies in the bargain.
Mm. Good one.
So,
So
yeah, that's it.
yeah, Anup.
Sorry.
So did you? That's an awesome tattoo on you. So was that before marrying Varun, or after you
Yes.
realized he's the Krishna and you got it done?
Well, my
I'm the Krishna.
tattoo has been there.
I'm the Krishna. I'm the
Um,
Krishna.
that's that's true. Actually, when we were dating, I told him that. I was like, "You're my Krishna."
There you
But
go.
the reason I got this tattoo done, this was in 2000, and I got it done while I was studying in London, and
Hmm.
I just wanted something which drew permanence to me. I was by myself, my family was here, and I was looking at something that I could tell my grandchildren that, hey, really, really proud to have this tattoo. I didn't get it done on a whim or, because I was high or something. It was because I really wanted something permanent in my life. And the only permanence I had that time was Krishna. And so, yeah, that's the reason why I got the Laddu Gopal done.
So how do you safeguard this Krishna? He is going
Oh, I
out
have
now.
done.
He is
I'm really.
public. He is on a YouTube channel. People are watching him. People are texting him. How do you safeguard? Your answer will help my wife a lot. Okay, so please carefully
Okay,
answer.
yes, there are so many people out there, so many ladies who are constantly giving him the looks, and I'm like, well, I'm the lucky one. Yeah.
Good one. So, chalo, we have some questions for you, Varun and Anu. Lovely
Sure.
combination. It's great to hear, how you started this, and lots of wishes in how what you're doing, and how you're doing. So,
Thank
here we go with the first question. So, you can decide who can answer this, but it would be fun if both are fighting to answer.
Okay.
buzz around.
Get some buzzers here. We need a buzzer.
What makes you the happiest?
Well, the children when they enjoy the food and they finish everything and we're with no leftovers,
Hmm.
that's what really enjoy. I really enjoy that.
Okay, we agree on this. The kids make us the happiest for sure. And especially for me, like you said, when I was a CEO, I was on the road all the time traveling internationally. So even weekends I would miss with the family. The last 1.5 years has been a blessing, and the last 3 months with the kids not having school has even been a bigger
That
blessing, I'd say, because we've really bonded together as a family, and I feel like I just know my kids so much more than I did even 2 years ago. So absolutely, kids.
when were you
One point.
working, Varun? You were a leader, and you had so much of time, building companies. You said you were traveling most of the time. I still maybe we can talk offline on this.
When did I have time for what?
Cooking,
What?
cooking.
For cooking, your passion, and all that. See, I seriously
So
feel once you get into this role of leadership, right? You're the CEO, and there are too many things running in your mind. You're managing business. You're thinking about how to grow the business. You're managing team. You're obviously handling the management, and so it like 12 hours is not enough. And in this, you're also driving your passion. So my question is, how are you how were you able to manage all this?
So I disagree with you there because being a good leader, and this is my space. I've said this piece so many times. So anyway, being a good leader is about developing good people. One thing I've always done throughout my career is to
Hmm.
make sure I surround myself with good people. And when I look at a person and hire them,
Hmm.
I the my only intent is, can this person replace me in my job? So, if you try to be, unfortunately, a lot of people in the corporate world are very selfish. They hoard information. They want to hire people who are substandard just so they shine. And I've taken the opposite tack, and it's worked fantastically for me. So I hire people who basically see, my job is guidance,
Hmm.
strategic, etc., etc. So I do that part, and the operational execution, I leave it to everyone else. So I do that correctly, then I have the time to
Oh, yes.
myself and with my family. So when I was actual, for example, yes, the first year and a half was tough, but the next 3 years after that, we had the right team in place. I was home at 5. From 5:30 to 7:30, I was playing badminton. We had dinner as a family every night, with the exception of when I traveled, of course. So
Hmm.
I have the time. You have to find the time for your passions. I think that's really the answer.
True. So now this is getting like too much, like बहुत प्यार ये हो रहा है. So next question is, what was the last argument about?
I can tell you that one.
Yeah.
Remember, okay, tell me. See, remember the memories. Yeah.
There's one thing that everyone knows about Varun. He is an OCD. And I'm not.
Yeah, we didn't know
And
about that. Yeah, but now it is live. Everybody knows
kitchen
about it.
is a mess. I come here and I'm baking, and it's not 100%. He comes in and like, what have you done to my kitchen?
Okay, yeah, I remember that. So
So
I
other
okay.
than me and the kids, nobody else is allowed to be in his space over here. We have another outdoor kitchen which is used for deep frying and all the stuff there. The gravies are flying everywhere.
Mhm.
So when I'm baking and I have flour all over the counter and I'm doing stuff here and I'm doing stuff there, he comes and suddenly goes wild and he's like, "That's it.
Stop what you're doing. Yeah,
My
stop.
kitchen is a mess."
Yeah, like Gordon Ramsay style. Stop what you're doing. Get out of my kitchen. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but right now we are in my kitchen. My
Yes,
kitchen. Yeah.
yes. I agree. I say that even in all the videos, I am in Varun's kitchen.
I'm possessive about the space. I want to spick and span and spotless. That and the spaces that I use, the dining table, the bedroom. But with 3 kids and 8 dogs at home, you can't keep everything clean. But yes, I do have OCD to a large extent. That's just
Yeah,
me.
but I think that's also one of the prerequisites of being a perfect chef, because a lot of people don't know. I have started my career with hotel management, so one of the
Oh,
things which
wow.
was trained is to keep your kitchen clean the way it was before you started cooking. So but yeah, too much of OCD on your own family थोड़ा मतलब ज़्यादा हो जाता है, but good
I think
argument. So
I
anytime, yeah,
completely.
Anu, did you just walk out saying that this is enough, तुम कर लो?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then I come back quickly, wipe out wherever I've left the dirt, and then go back again and finish.
See, so Kia is Kia 100% Kia, but at the same time, she also takes pride in her cooking. Right now, while I can bake, the reason I don't bake is because when baking you have to measure exactly. I'm a freestyle cook. Thoda ye dal diya, thoda wo dal diya, inventive style,
Uh,
creative style, whatever. And she's more tack tack tack. She will measure. She has these measuring devices all over the place, and
mm.
they're all like accurate to the milligram and all that. So
Yeah.
so,
So
so if when she walks up the kitchen when she's baking, I said, fine, I'll just finish it. So 60 seconds later, she realized, oh crap, he's going to just screw this up. So she comes right back.
there have been times that I'm weighing out, if I'm making a bagel or I'm making croissant, I have to weigh out each and every piece of
Mm.
it before I can roll it and do the next bit. And if in the middle of it, something happens, that's it. I've lost count of how many did I do. What I have to restart. There have been times that I've goofed up on the amount of butter I have put in the croissant because I went overboard and there was so much butter oozing everywhere, and I was like, oh God, I'm not going to do it again, but I have to because croissant again is something that
Mm.
uh, requires a lot of patience, has to be done over a period of time.
So basically, you have OCD also. That's what it
As far as measuring each and everything, it has to be perfectly in sync.
Cool. So, next question. What outfit does your partner force you to wear, which you're really uncomfortable with?
Um,
Are kids watching the show?
No, we
Uh,
have a different channel called K12. The kids are not watching the show.
yeah. So, you want to go first?
um, no, not really. I don't think there's anything that Varun would not wear. I have to tell you this one time that we had a Halloween party in
Hmm.
the cutest neighborhood where we were
You're
staying.
embarrassing me on live camera.
And no, everybody had to dress up differently. I was dressed up as a mummy,
Hmm.
and so I brought out a outfit, a woman's outfit, and Varun wore it, and he wore a
Oh,
wig,
wow.
and I got him these beautiful nails, and we,
No, so
glued on the nails.
it was a golden wig and a tube top. Say and I had just flown in from London. I was jet lagged. It was
Yes.
8 p.m. I wanted to have like nice khichdi or dahi chawal and go to sleep. But it's like, no, it's Halloween party in the community and this is what you're wearing. So,
And you won't believe how many women and men hit on him that night.
Yeah.
And I was
Men
like,
for sure. Yeah, I can imagine. Anu, you would have shared that particular picture with me just before this particular thing. I would have broadcasted it live. I'm sure it.
oh, I don't know whether he would like that.
yeah, I don't care. That's fine. So, okay, now my turn. again, she likes to dress in Western clothes, as you can see, but Indian as well. But what I'd like to see is her wear a sari more often.
Hmm.
Not because I'm a traditionalist, I just think a sari is so elegant as a dress, and women just look beautiful. There's difference between hot, sexy, cute, pretty, and then there's beautiful. So I think a woman looks beautiful in a sari. So, mama, sari.
No more of. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
what
next
Anu?
time we
What?
go out probably.
Yeah, Anu. What was your first impression when you saw him?
The first time that I saw him, I was like, he's a kid. He looked a lot younger than his age. So when I saw him, I was like, maybe he's younger than me. I wasn't sure whether I was meeting the right guy. I was still thinking, but then, once we went out and he got me these amazing pizzas.
And
Yeah,
lots of booze.
of course. We love our booze. Yeah.
So, Varun, what about you? What was your thought process when you saw her?
Actually, the Krishna tattoo. It just stands out so much. So when I saw her, I said, okay, she's a Krishna bhakt. And I wasn't judging one way or the other. It was just an observation. But more than that, it was just like this beautiful tattoo. And I said, okay, she's so when I see a tattoo, for me, I say, okay, forward thinking. So one checkbox done. Obviously, good looking, two checkbox done. So that was what I thought. And I said, okay, I think this is going to work. So I just went all out.
What was your expression when you were seeing at this tattoo? I mean, sometimes men make this expression, staring at them or staring at the tattoo. ऐसा कुछ किया है?
Luckily, it was on the arm, so stare bhi kiya to kuch farak nahi pada na. But I looked at it and I just went, wow, that's really pretty.
Who's more romantic?
I think I am.
Ramesh, I am for sure. Well,
But after
okay.
a few drinks, I was not more.
After a few drinks, sir, before a few drinks, me. So you have to qualify. So it depends on how you ask the question and when you ask it.
So good. So what have you guys ever tried to hide things to avoid trouble or lie to each other to avoid a trouble?
You answering? Which married couple doesn't, right?
I
So
know I
basically,
have.
so she's saying, I have to. So white flies, I don't think either of us has ever done anything malicious. I'm hoping not, at least not from my end. I'm hoping not from that end. But at the same time, there are always these white lies, and that you say just to keep the relationship strong. So that what the hota hai?
Yeah, I have to even sometimes hide bills. And then you find the bill and you're like, you spent so much. And I'm like, yes, it was on.
No, but to give her credit, so the bill will be large, no doubt. Okay, that's for true. But that's true. But she's never spent money on herself. It's always buying something for the house or for the children.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
today also, I came back with a bill and he was like, what happened? And I was like, well, I had to buy food for the puppies and I had to buy meats and I had to buy all these things because, what if we are not able to go out for the next 1 month?
See, in that sense, we're opposites. I love to see, because I traveled so much and I was working outside for so many years, I love staying home. मुझे घर पे बिठा दो, and I can do that for 2 or 3 months. This COVID now is not bothering me in terms of the lockdown because I'm very happy. She, on the other hand, gets very fidgety. 2 दिन के बाद, third day, she has to go. Even if
Yeah,
grocery
she has to
store,
go shop. Yeah, I know. There are few people who do that. In our community also we had vendors who came and were putting vegetables and all that. But few housewives just बहाना चाहिए उनको बाहर जाने के लिए, drive out and then buy something. Though everything is available here.
Luckily, we actually are in a very safe and the neighborhood is, I guess, really nicely placed. We get a lot of things home delivered and exotic fruits and vegetables. So if it's the basic stuff like onion, tomatoes, potatoes, yes, we need to go out and get those. But when it comes to foods like salads or greens, we have these amazing vendors who give us mushrooms and certain cuts of meats. we're in heaven when it comes to all of that.
And the energy she has, I mean, she'll sleep 3 hours a night, and then she'll go on and on. And I'm in my bed looking at her, and I just look at her and I get tired. I'm like, how do you do it?
So, Varun, what's her worst habit?
We know that.
All right, the song is mine. So, worst habit, I think is which one should I say? So, um, she's not organized, but I think I'd say she's organized, but maybe because I have OCD, I feel like she's not organized.
Okay.
No, I'm not organized for sure. I even if I make a list
Mhm.
of what I have to get, I always go overboard.
So, Ravi, tell me one thing: is the purpose of this show to make couples fight, or
No.
Okay.
But good one.
So, my worst habit. Say you can also say.
Yeah, she is already
Yeah.
told, right? OCD. That's basically I was pointing at you so that you get a chance also. A lot of time men don't get a chance to talk. So
That's true.
okay. Tell something about your wedding. So how long did it take for the wedding to plan, and some sweet and weird memories out of your wedding. Now you have kids and all that, right? So no harm in sharing that across.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. Just
Okay,
start.
so the wedding time was really exciting for me because as a fashion designer, I was able to do all that designing that I wanted for not only my trousseau but for Varun as well.
Even mine was
I
designed well.
loved it. I loved every bit of it. There were times that we were in Lucknow getting the fabric printed, where the embroidery would be done because. Lucknow, as you know, is famous for chicken curry and
Right.
chicken curry. Embroidery.
Yeah. Chef,
That's
yeah,
what
when
it's
you're
called.
interviewing chefs, yeah, some of these mistakes do happen.
So there were times that we would be there getting it done, and I wasn't happy with the color of the embroidery thread, and I would get it dyed again, and
Okay.
walking those streets. And of course, when we are walking through streets of Lucknow, you have to eat, and how much I ate, and I was like, I'm not going to fit into my trousseau, I'm not going to fit into my lehenga and my blouse, the amount of chaat I'm eating and biryani. So I never gave up eating. I don't think I've ever gone on a diet.
Yes, you have. You don't need fried food.
That's not a diet. That's my type of OCD.
This is like lie right here, lie.
So yes, even during the wedding time, I decided on the menu, and I don't want anything fried. And my parents were like, "You're not the only one eating. You do realize there are going to be 300 other people, and
Thank you.
you have to eat." And I'm like, "But I don't want to eat something fried." But we still ended up having a lot of good
For
food.
me, see, I like whatever occasion it is, right? Clearly, wedding, your family time, all this stuff. But I relate everything to food. So there was before the Sangeet night at your home, the parents' home, Gurgaon. So we
Yes.
we had this absolutely phenomenal Kashmiri feast. I mean, you name the Kashmiri dish, and it was there, in large quantities.
Wow.
So that's a standout memory for me, for sure.
Yes, the Waza actually had come home
Yeah.
and all the food was cooked in the backyard. Amazing Kashmiri food. I'm so proud of the heritage that I have as far as Kashmiri food goes because I get all those recipes from my grandmom who taught my mom, and of course I have used them, modified them.
Hey, next time we should do a biryani fight on Lucknowi biryani because my mom's from Lucknow.
Yeah,
She's
Lucknowi and
Hyderabadi
Hyderabadi
biryani.
biryani. Yeah.
The biryani that I make is a Hyderabadi style of biryani.
Oh,
And I
nice.
you like that too.
I like it
But
too,
the
but
kids like
kids
Lucknowi.
like the Lucknowi one because it's more flavorful.
Oh, yeah. There was this
That's
movie
Not
which
quite.
was about Lucknowi and Hyderabadi biryani, right? I'm not getting his name of the movie. Dawate something, Dawate Ishq.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
A
know.
very
That
good
sounds
movie.
I should be seeing. I haven't seen it.
It's a Hindi movie. Pariniti Chopra and I'm not getting the guy's name, the hero's name. I mean,